it's always had a huge impact on me. I want to write, I want to sing, I want to do the same thing for others. Have my music hopefully do that for others one day. Not realizing, you know, what I sort of had to climb. I had an idea a little bit, but I think that I underestimated the whole thing.
I keep saying you're the only people that can bring me out of my house. I'm not kidding.
At 54, Lisa Marie Presley finally broke her silence on a subject that had intrigued many for years. As the supposed only child of Elvis Presley, her life had been scrutinized, with numerous rumors and speculations surrounding her. From photos of her with the man widely believed to be Elvis Presley's long-lost grandson, Chewy Thompson, to the deeper exploration of these rumors, Lisa Marie has now addressed what many have long suspected. In this video, we'll uncover what Lisa Marie confessed, a revelation that may have played a role in her untimely death. Prepare to be shocked. Lisa's early life. Elvis Presley and Priscilla Presley welcomed their daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, into the world on February 1, 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee. Lisa Marie Presley is the daughter of the legendary Elvis Presley. Up to the age of 4, she resided at Graceland, the renowned home that belonged to her father. Because of the divorce that occurred between her parents, she and her mother moved to Los Angeles. Lisa maintained tight relationships with her parents despite the fact that they had separated, and she did it by dividing her time between Memphis and Los Angeles. The majority of her time was spent in California with her mother. Nevertheless, she also spent a considerable amount of time with her father at Graceland in Memphis, up until the time of his dying on August 17, 1977. Because she was the only child of the iconic Elvis Presley and Priscilla Presley, Lisa naturally sought a career in music. On the other hand, her entry into the music industry marked the beginning of a period associated with considerable difficulties. Growing up was difficult, especially after she had to say goodbye to her father when she was still a little child. As a result of her experimentation with various narcotics, she ultimately decided to withdraw from high school. Lisa went to her first rock performance after the passing of her father, and it was there that she was introduced to the legendary band Queen. They gave Freddie Mercury, the lead singer, with a scarf at the conclusion of their performance at the Forum in Englewood, California. The venue was located in the state of California. Given that the scarf had been her father's, this act held a special significance for her because of its emotional significance. In addition to the dramatic theatrics that are characteristic of Queen's concerts, the concert was an event that will be remembered for a long time. Lisa's home life was challenging, primarily as a result of some of the decisions that her mother made. Despite the fact that she had some wonderful moments on stage, in a situation that could have been beneficial for Priscilla, her mother began a relationship with an actor named Michael Edwards. However, Lisa found this relationship to be problematic. Lisa went through a horrible incident when she was between the ages of 12 and 15, but she did not reveal it until many years later when she was interviewed for a 2003 interview. She disclosed that Edwards would frequently enter her room while under the influence of alcohol and behave in an unpleasant manner towards her. This terrible occurrence was just one of the numerous obstacles that Lisa had to overcome during her life. Throughout the course of her narrative, it becomes abundantly evident that this was only one of the many challenges that she encountered in her personal life. Lisa's relationship with her father. It is impossible to discuss Lisa Marie Presley without acknowledging the profound influence her father had on her life. Being the daughter of Elvis Presley, a legendary figure in 20th century music, meant that Lisa grew up immersed in the entertainment industry. Elvis, known as the King of Rock and Roll, left an indelible mark on the world through his music, films, and an enduring fan base. As his only child, Lisa Marie played a pivotal role in preserving and managing his legacy. Despite Elvis's demanding schedule, he was deeply involved in Lisa's life. She often accompanied him to concerts and other events, and on several occasions, he even brought her on stage. However, as Elvis's career soared, his time at home diminished, and Lisa found herself spending more time with her grandmother and mother. Growing up in the shadow of her father's immense fame came with both privileges and challenges. On one hand, Lisa enjoyed a life of luxury and glamour, but on the other, she had to navigate the constant scrutiny of the media and endless comparisons to her father. These comparisons were inevitable given that Lisa inherited her father's passion for music. She became his pupil, learning from him as he played the guitar and piano. In one article, Lisa mentioned how Elvis was not only her musical inspiration, but also her fashion icon, always going out of his way to guide her. He encouraged her musical interests, leading her to start composing music at a young age. The sudden and tragic death of Elvis had a profound impact on her. This loss was especially painful because Lisa was one of the first people to discover his lifeless body in the bathroom at Graceland. It took her a long time to come to terms with his death, and the haunting image of that day only deepened her grief. Nevertheless, Lisa often reflected fondly on her father's unconventional parenting style. In an interview with ABC News, she recalled how he would wake her up to sing and even jump on the table with her. She described him as her dad, but a very exciting one. Lisa Marie's inheritance from Elvis was significant. When Elvis passed away, Lisa, along with her great-grandmother Minnie Mayhood Presley and her grandfather Vernon Elvis Presley, became the heirs to his estate. Over the years, both Minnie May and Vernon also passed away, leaving Lisa as the sole heir and the owner of Graceland, where she had spent part of her childhood. By the time she turned 25 in 1993, Lisa inherited her father's estate, including Graceland, a place filled with memories of her youth. As the owner of her father's estate, Lisa became deeply involved with the trust and various commercial entities managing his legacy. Everything associated with Elvis, his costumes, awards, furniture, cars, and the original 13 acres surrounding Graceland Mansion remained under Lisa's sole ownership. This led Lisa to make the decision to permanently open Graceland to the public, allowing visitors to explore the mansion and view her father's belongings. Interestingly, during a 2003 interview, Lisa expressed that there was nothing about her heritage or identity that she would ever wish to change. She stated that she had no interest in pursuing anything else and felt a profound sense of honor and pride in her family and her father. She took on the responsibility of preserving and sharing her father's memory, allowing people to appreciate his life and accomplishments. Lisa held her father's legacy in the highest regard, embracing her heritage with pride and a deep sense of honor. Lisa's successful music career. Despite the fact that Lisa Marie's early years at Graceland and the teachings she acquired from the well-known king of rock and roll were the appropriate starting points for her musical journey, she also became acquainted with a number of other major performers during this time. He was the king of rock and roll. One of Lisa's early faves was the album The Sweet Inspirations, which was issued by a female group with the same name. Lisa first became interested in the album Houston Was a Favorite of her father when she was a child, and she was a part of this ensemble at one point in her life. Although they did not achieve the same level of renown as the Supreme Music Group, Lisa reminisced on the group and claimed that they were comparable to the Supreme Sues. In an interview that took place in the year 2000, she said this despite the fact that the Supremes were a more successful musical group. She also mentioned the tremendous influence that Pink Floyd's music, particularly their renowned album The Wall, had on her throughout the formative years of her life. As part of her statement to the media, she said that she was deeply influenced by Pink Floyd's music. Lisa found herself drawn to music that was not just sincere and insightful, but also conveyed profound messages. She was a songwriter, and she believed that music was a powerful way of self-expression. She discovered that this specific genre resonated with her more than any other. She felt that it was the genre that she was most comfortable with. The year 1997 was Lisa's first recording, which was a posthumous duet with her father on his song Don't Cry Daddy. Lisa began her career as a recording artist in 1997. In light of the fact that Lisa's career had been going swimmingly up to that point, This was a significant advancement for her. In this song, Lisa's voice was blended with Elvis's, which resulted in a moving homage to the musician who passed away. As soon as this song was made available to the public, Lisa launched her solo career, which she began shortly after its release. On the 8th of April, 2023, she made the announcement that she would be releasing her first studio album, which was titled To Whom It May Concern. The album was given the gold certification in June of that same year, and it attained an incredible 5th position on the ranking of the 200 albums that were released by Billboard. This achievement was a significant accomplishment. It was Lisa Marie who was responsible for the composition of the melodies and the writing of the lyrics for each and every song that was included on the album. Almost all of the tunes were produced in collaboration with Gus Black, with the exception of one that was titled The Road Between. The first single from the album, which was titled Lights Out, was a huge hit, climbing all the way up to the 16th spot on the charts in the United Kingdom, and reaching the 18th position on the Hot Adult Top 40 list on Billboard during its first week of release. A well-known critic for the Los Angeles Times named Robert Hilbert praised the album for having a tone that was harsh and uncompromising. He said that the album was a great example of the genre. Furthermore, he highlighted Lisa's bold and bluesy approach, which contributed to the unusual edge that her music held. This was a significant factor in the overall effect. Idiot and a version of Dirty Laundry by Don Henley were both singles that were released from this album of music. The album was finally released after a hiatus of 2 years. Now, what was the title of Lisa's second album? Now, what made its debut on the Billboard 200 chart at position number 9 when it was first made available to the public through its initial release? Lisa made a comment about the record while she was being interviewed by Oprah Winfrey. She stated, "My whole attitude was, you have no idea who I am." The record was the subject of this statement that was mentioned. After that, she went on to state that, after the album was made available to the general public, she had the epiphany that she became aware of a great deal more about herself than she had been aware of in the past. Storm and Grace was the title of her third studio album, which was released on the 15th of May, 2012. Additionally, the album was released. Lisa described it as an album that was more natural and rooted in the past when compared to her earlier works. It was her final studio album, and it was produced by T-Bone Burnett, who had previously won both a Grammy and an Academy Award. The record reached the 45th spot on the Billboard charts, and it was her final studio album. Critics lauded the album, pointing out that Lisa had at long last found a musical identity that was a perfect fit for her. The album earned plaudits from critics. They considered it to be a work that was more powerful, more mature, and more impactful than they had anticipated it to be. One of the magazines that commended the album as being the best of her career was Entertainment Weekly, which also highlighted the single You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, which is a smoky and eerie track. The single garnered special attention from Entertainment Weekly. Lisa's last musical endeavor was in the year 2018, when she made a contribution to Where No One Stands Alone, a collection of gospel songs that were initially performed by her father. This was Lisa's final musical endeavor, a poignant tribute to the legacy that her father had left behind. She was featured on the title tune, which was rewritten as a duet between Lisa and Elvis. This was done in order to honor the legacy that her father had left behind. Charity and humanitarian efforts. Following the road of philanthropy that was established by her father, Lisa Marie was profoundly involved in a wide variety of charity causes and humanitarian endeavors during her entire life. Through her support of a variety of activities relating to disaster relief, education, and the welfare of children, Lisa was able to positively touch the lives of a great number of people. Through the Elvis Presley Charitable Foundation, she provided significant contributions to the relief operations following hurricanes and to projects that have been designed to combat poverty. In the aftermath of the devastating hurricane that struck New Orleans in the year 2000, Lisa committed herself to the recovery operations that were being undertaken. In addition to actively participating in the relief operations, she worked together with Oprah Winfrey's Angel Network. The celebrity musician physically loaded a truck with food from a food bank and then made a stop at Target to collect clothing and toiletries for those who were impacted by the hurricane. At the Grand Casino Convention Center in Mississippi, she then hand-handed these necessary goods to individuals who had lost everything they had brought with them. Her caring gestures were immensely appreciated by the people who were forced to evacuate, and they expressed their gratitude to her for providing support during such a challenging season. In addition, Lisa offered her support to her hometown of Memphis, Tennessee, noting that she felt a tremendous sense of obligation to assist those who were in need. In the year 2011, Governor Bill Haslam of Tennessee presented Lisa Marie with a commendation in celebration of the humanitarian and philanthropic work that she had done. She received recognition for her efforts to bring attention to issues such as homelessness and literacy, as well as for her consistent financial support of a variety of organizations that don't profit from their work. Additionally, Lisa Marie became a patron of the Dream Factory, which is a non-profit organization situated in Heel. This was in addition to her involvement with the Elvis Presley Charitable Foundation. For the purpose of supporting the organization's aim of granting wishes to children who are suffering from terminal diseases or disabilities, she participated in fundraising events such as the Snowball Competition. Her advocacy for the Grammy Signature School program, which honored public high schools in the United States for their exceptional dedication to music education, was another key effort that she championed. One of the most important contributions that Lisa Marie made was to the development of this program. She was also active in other music-related initiatives where she shared her expertise and experiences with young musicians who aspired to be artists. Yet, behind these public successes in her career and philanthropic work, Lisa Marie also faced personal challenges. Lisa's battles with challenges, marriages, and personal life. A total of 4 marriages were experienced by Lisa Marie Presley throughout the course of her life. The man she eventually married was Danny Ko, whom she started dating when she was 17 years old, and was in treatment for substance abuse. The couple had been dating for 3 years prior to their wedding, which took place on October 3rd in the year 1988. In the time of their wedding, Danny, who was 23 years old, and Lisa exchanged their vows in the Celebrity Center in Los Angeles, which is a treatment center where the Church of Scientology is in charge. The 9 witnesses that were present at the ceremony included Lisa's mother Priscilla, who was one of them. Despite the fact that they eventually divorced in May of 1994, Lisa Marie has always considered Danny to be her closest friend. The pair had 2 children together. They went so far as to find themselves living together prior to her passing, almost immediately following her breakup with Danny. Lisa Marie had a whirlwind romance with Michael Jackson, which resulted in the coming together of the legacies of Graceland and Neverland. It was during an Elvis Presley concert in Las Vegas in the 1970s that the 2 individuals had their first encounter with one another. However, it wasn't until almost 20 years later, when they were having dinner together in Los Angeles with a buddy they both had, that they became acquainted with one another. Despite the fact that they became friends very quickly and talked on the phone rather frequently, their relationship did not initially contain any romantic moments. The beginning of the romantic relationship occurred not long after Michael was accused of engaging in inappropriate behavior with a youngster who was 13 years old during the summer of 1993. During the course of the investigation, Michael relied greatly on Lisa for encouragement, and he eventually proposed to her over the phone later that same year. As a result of Michael's agreement to settle the charges for $23 million, their connection became more intense. At the same time, Lisa stopped her relationship with Danny. Following the conclusion of her divorce proceedings with Danny, the pair decided to have an impromptu wedding in the Dominican Republic. The ceremony took place only 20 days after the divorce was finalized. The newlyweds rapidly became a media sensation, frequently exhibiting their passion in public. The most notable instance of this occurred during the 1994 MTV Video Music Awards, where they famously kissed when they were performing on stage. However, behind the scenes, their marriage was difficult. This was partially due to Michael's addiction to pain pills that were provided to him after he suffered second-degree burns in a fire that occurred on the set of a Pepsi commercial 10 years previously. Both parties filed for divorce in December of 1995, marking the end of their marriage. Lisa Marie filed for divorce. Hugo Francisco Alvarez Perez, the judge who presided over their wedding, later stated in an interview with Entertainment Weekly that he was surprised by the length of time that their marriage lasted. He had anticipated that it would only endure for approximately a year, but it ended up lasting for 18 months. Following the conclusion of her marriage to Michael, Lisa Marie entered into a brief engagement with John Osaicha, a singer-songwriter. However, their engagement was terminated in the year 2001. Nicolas Cage, an actor, was the recipient of her third marriage. In October of 2000, they were attending a birthday celebration when they first met, and 1 month later, they announced their relationship to the public. In spite of the fact that there were multiple reports of breakups and reconciliations, they eventually tied the knot in Hawaii in a modest ceremony in the year 2002. After only 3 and 2 months of marriage, Nicholas filed for divorce in November of 2002, and the divorce was finalized in 2004. However, their marriage did not endure long at all. The marriage between Lisa Marie and Michael Lockwood, a music producer, was her fourth and final union. It was during the time that she was still legally married to Nicholas that they started dating. They eventually tied the knot on January 22, 2006, in Kyoto, Japan. Over the course of the year 2008, the couple became parents to identical twin daughters named Harper Vivian and Finley Aaron Love Lockwood. In the year 2016, Lisa Marie filed for divorce, specifically requesting sole custody of their children after they had been married for 10 years, which was the longest marriage she had ever spent. Following a protracted legal struggle, the divorce was finally finalized in the month of May in the year 21. Personal struggles with grief and addictions. Lisa Marie Presley's battles, including her struggles with addiction, were often publicized. She first opened up about her challenges with opioid and painkiller addiction in the preface to Harry Nelson's book, The United States of Opioids, a prescription for liberating a nation in pain. Both Lisa Marie's father, Elvis, and her ex-husband, Michael Jackson, lost their lives due to substance-related issues. Reflecting on her own struggles, she wrote, "You may wonder how, after losing those close to me, I also fell victim to opioids." Fortunately, her primary motivation for seeking sobriety, as she explained in the book, was her children. Although Lisa Marie made efforts to keep her addiction struggles private, there were concerns about her recovery, especially following the tragic death of her son Benjamin Keogh, who had also faced his own battles with substance abuse. In 2020, at the age of 27, Benjamin tragically took his own life, leaving Lisa Marie devastated by the loss. She wrote an essay on National Grief Awareness Day, where she shared how her son's death had shattered her life. She expressed how his passing turned the lives of her and her 3 daughters upside down, saying, "Every day, we live in this state without a partner." Lisa Marie also emphasized that, contrary to societal beliefs, grief is something that one carries forever, stating, "There is no concept of moving on or getting over it." She later wrote an editorial for People in August 2022, discussing how she coped with grief. She admitted that losing her son destroyed her, and that she couldn't simply overcome the guilt and sorrow. However, as she had expressed before, she made a conscious decision to keep going for the sake of her other daughters, Riley, who was 33, and her 14-year-old twins, Finley and Harper. According to the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office, as reported by Fox News, Benjamin took his own life using a firearm. Friends of Benjamin spoke to the media in the days following his death, shedding light on his struggles with depression and the immense pressure he felt to live up to the legacy of being Elvis Presley's grandson. Musician Brandon Howard, a close friend of Benjamin's, told People that between the pandemic and the isolation, a lot was weighing on Benjamin, causing him to struggle with depression. In contrast, Lisa Marie spoke fondly of her son, describing him as the sweetest and most incredible being she had ever known. She also mentioned that Benjamin bore a striking resemblance to her father, Elvis, in so many ways that it sometimes frightened her. This resemblance made his loss even more painful, and she felt a deep sense of responsibility for his death. When considering that her father's addiction struggles ultimately led to his demise, it becomes even more understandable why Benjamin's death devastated her so profoundly. Lisa Marie's own life became intertwined with addiction after her father's death. Between the ages of 13 and 17, she entered what she later referred to as a self-destruct mode. Additionally, her relationship with her mother was strained, partly due to religious differences. Although Lisa Marie had been introduced to Scientology at a young age by her mother, she reconnected with the church at 17 after spending 3 nights using dangerous amounts of illicit drugs. She recalled how her mother forcibly took her out of the house and insisted she stay at the Scientology Center, recounting that her mother handed her over to them late at night while she was intoxicated, saying, "I was supposed to be protected by them." After being clean for several years, Lisa Marie experienced a relapse into opioid addiction following the birth of her twin daughters, Vivian and Finley, in 2008. According to the Daily Mail, she sought treatment and entered rehab at least 5 times as she battled her addiction and experimented with opiates. During an interview about her time in rehab, she shared the words of her therapist, who told her, "You are a miracle. You truly are." Further reflecting on her struggles with substance use, Lisa Marie emphasized the importance of letting go of the shame associated with addiction. She also urged others to be kinder to themselves and highlighted the significance of sharing personal stories as the first step toward positive change. Lisa's financial struggles. Lisa Marie Presley's personal life was further complicated by significant financial issues, particularly related to the mismanagement of her wealth. In 2018, Lisa Marie initiated a lawsuit against her former business manager, Barry Siegel, accusing him of mishandling her finances and leaving her in severe debt. She claimed that Siegel's poor decisions and financial mismanagement had drained her inheritance, leaving her with only a small portion of the substantial fortune she had once possessed. The lawsuit included allegations of negligence, breach of fiduciary duty, and various financial wrongdoings. This legal battle dragged on for several years, adding to the mounting pressures in Lisa Marie's life. On top of this, Lisa Marie also faced challenges related to her own spending habits and lifestyle choices. Her high-profile marriages and subsequent divorces, coupled with her personal struggles, reportedly exacerbated her financial difficulties. The costs associated with maintaining multiple homes, paying legal fees, and supporting her children likely contributed to the worsening of her financial situation. By 2017, it was reported that Lisa Marie was facing significant debt, with the IRS alleging that she owed millions in unpaid taxes. According to CBS reports, beginning in 2005, Lisa Marie endured a lengthy and challenging financial ordeal that spanned over a decade, ultimately leading to substantial financial ruin. These reports suggested that the total financial losses suffered by Lisa Marie were believed to exceed $100 million, though the exact amount remained undetermined. Eventually, Lisa Marie was forced to sell her ownership stake in Elvis Presley Enterprises, including Graceland, the iconic Presley estate, in an attempt to alleviate some of her financial burdens. The cause of Lisa's death. According to statements from medical professionals and those who were with Lisa Marie Presley during her final hours, complications arising from bariatric surgery she underwent years earlier ultimately led to her death in January of 2023. The specific cause was identified as a partial intestinal blockage, as detailed in the autopsy report released by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner Coroner's Office. This particular complication is recognized as a known risk among individuals who have had bariatric surgery, a procedure designed to help patients reduce excess body weight. The Mayo Clinic notes that this surgery is generally recommended for those who have not achieved significant weight loss through other means or who face life-threatening health conditions. In Lisa Marie's situation, paramedics responded to an emergency call reporting cardiac arrest at her home, after which she was rushed to a hospital in Los Angeles. Initially, no detailed information about the underlying health issue was available. However, the coroner's autopsy report later revealed more about the circumstances of Lisa Marie's passing, including that she had experienced abdominal pain earlier on the day she died. The report also mentioned the presence of certain substances in her system, which raised questions about whether the complications from her bariatric surgery were solely responsible for her death. It's worth noting that grief may have played a role in her passing, considering the series of traumatic events she endured, most notably the loss of her son. However, this would be a purely emotional factor, challenging to substantiate medically. Lisa Marie's funeral took place at Graceland, her beloved childhood home shared with her father, which now serves as a museum, tourist destination, and pilgrimage site for Elvis fans. The ceremony was held on January 22nd near the graves of her son and father. In the year leading up to her untimely death, Lisa Marie was working on her autobiography, which she co-wrote with her daughter Riley Keough. The book is set to be released on October 15, 2024, and Riley, who is not only Lisa Marie's daughter but also an accomplished novelist, is eager to share this deeply personal and candid account of her mother's life. According to a statement from Random House, this past January, Riley will be narrating the audiobook version of the memoir, which will include excerpts from recorded tapes of Lisa Marie. This will provide an intimate listening experience for those who wish to hear Lisa Marie's story in her own voice. The yet untitled book is expected to explore various aspects of Lisa Marie's life, including her upbringing in the public eye, her relationships with notable figures like Michael Jackson and Nicolas Cage, her experiences as a mother, and her complex relationship with her parents, Elvis and Priscilla Presley, who divorced when she was just 5 years old. The memoir promises to offer a look at Lisa Marie's life from her own perspective, enriched by Riley's memories and insights from those closest to her mother. Regarding Lisa Marie's estate and inheritance, it has been confirmed by a Graceland spokesperson that Riley, along with her siblings Harper and Finley Lockwood, are the heirs to Graceland and Lisa Marie's trust following her passing in 2023. Initially, there was some dispute, as Priscilla, Lisa's mother, had concerns about the specifics of the will, but a settlement was eventually reached. The disagreement centered on the validity of an amendment to Lisa Marie's will, with the settlement resulting in Priscilla receiving a one-time payment of $1 million in exchange for stepping down as trustee of a fiduciary entity created by Lisa Marie. The funds for this payment will come from Lisa Marie's $25 million life insurance policy. Additionally, Priscilla will receive $100,000 annually while serving as a special advisor to another trust, and Lisa Marie's half-brother, Keough, will become the sole trustee of her estate. Keough has also agreed to cover up to $400,000 in Priscilla's legal fees. The settlement confirms Priscilla's right to be buried near Elvis Presley in the meditation garden at Graceland. Lisa's philanthropic ventures and humanitarian efforts. While Lisa Marie Presley's life was often viewed through the lens of her personal struggles and high-profile marriages, her significant contributions to humanitarian causes and charitable endeavors deserve equal recognition. Lisa's philanthropic nature reflected that of her father, Elvis Presley, who was renowned for his generosity and commitment to supporting his community. From an early age, Lisa was exposed to the importance of giving back, as Elvis himself was deeply involved in various charitable efforts. Following in her father's footsteps, Lisa dedicated herself to numerous humanitarian initiatives, striving to make a positive impact on society. One of the most prominent examples of Lisa's humanitarian work was her involvement in the relief efforts following Hurricane Katrina in 2005. The devastating hurricane caused widespread destruction along the Gulf Coast, particularly affecting New Orleans and surrounding areas. Lisa's connection to the South, having been born in Memphis, Tennessee, motivated her to take swift action. She partnered with Oprah Winfrey's Angel Network to provide essential assistance to the hurricane victims. Lisa personally loaded trucks with vital supplies, including food, clothing, and toiletries, and distributed them to those in need. The evacuees greatly appreciated Lisa's hands-on approach and her willingness to be on the ground, offering support in person. Her efforts extended beyond immediate relief. She also focused on long-term recovery by contributing to rebuilding initiatives and helping families regain stability. Lisa also played a key role in the Elvis Presley Charitable Foundation, EPCF, which was established to continue Elvis's legacy of giving. The foundation focuses on various charitable activities, including education, the arts, and health initiatives. Under Lisa's leadership, the EPCF funded several projects aimed at improving the lives of underserved communities. One notable project supported by the EPCF is the Elvis Presley Endowed Scholarship Fund at the University of Memphis. This scholarship provides financial aid to students pursuing degrees in the arts and music fields that were deeply meaningful to Elvis. Lisa's involvement in the foundation ensured that her father's passion for the arts continued to inspire and support future generations of artists. In addition to her work with the EPCF, Lisa was deeply committed to addressing issues related to homelessness and literacy in her hometown of Memphis. She supported several local organizations that provided shelter and resources to individuals and families experiencing homelessness. Lisa believed that everyone deserved a safe place to call home and worked tirelessly to support initiatives aimed at reducing homelessness in the community. Moreover, Lisa was a strong advocate for literacy programs. She recognized the transformative power of education and was dedicated to promoting literacy among both children and adults through various initiatives. How would you describe Lisa Marie's life, and what do you think was the real cause of her untimely passing? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for watching. For more intriguing content, click on the video appearing on your screen.